Heyo. Hello. Hi. Uh, what did I say? Hello, everyone. That was alright. I've done better. I've done better intros. I don't want to do it again. Hi. It's me. And it's Tuesday. That means we're going to sit down here and talk a little bit more about this silly little book. Hopefully everyone had a good week. I had an alright week. It's kind of quiet. But that's neither here nor there. What do we talk about today? We're going to talk about this book. Back at it again with this book. It's not going anywhere. It's right where we left it. Right where we left it last time. Which is to say, we're looking at chapter 11 this week. Chapter 11 and Dandy. Coming off the heels of the riveting changes, the big compelling changes to chapter 10 that were I gotta rewrite chapter 10. Chapter 11, unfortunately, is not so exciting. That's pretty exciting. It's exciting in its own way. But unfortunately for chapter 11, and unfortunately for the length of this stream, I can't just say I gotta rewrite it. Unfortunately, chapter 11 is fine. It's okay. It's serviceable. We're not quite at the point in the book where things start getting like okay-ish. We got a few more chapters. Of course, y'all would know that if you were there on Saturday. Just saying, we got a little crazy on Saturday. We spoilers, we went ahead in the book. But I digress. Here we are, chapter 11. Let's dig our teeth right in, right? So we're at chapter 11. Chapter 10, as we mentioned, Teal met with the dancer, formerly the Terpsichorean. And she did some things, and we got to rewrite chapter 10 because that's just how it is. But she's left that situation as far as like connecting chapter 9 and 11 via chapter 10. That's still going to happen, right? Like Teal is still going to leave where she was in chapter 9 and arrive where she is at chapter 11 and have a thing happen in chapter 10. It's just that the contents of chapter 10, the presentation of it, will largely deviate from what it currently is. However, she's left the situation in chapter 10. She's inevitably going to become annoyed with the dancer and head off. And in that interim period, we have her kind of just wandering through the alleyways. That's cool. I really appreciate that there is some world building trying to be done here. We've been in this back alley area for a few chapters now, and I'm trying to incorporate what life is like back here, what people are doing, what the state of society is in these alleyways, in this the alleyways of this city. But I don't do a very good job of, I guess in one way, of establishing culture. There's really a lack of cohesion in this setting I'm trying to establish. I don't really get into what it's like. I kind of mention these odds and ends that there might be poverty, that there's kind of a quaintness to things, that it's downtrodden, but the people here are altogether living happy lives. But I don't really point at anything. I don't really offer any examples. I kind of just like, oh yeah, that's how it is. There's the clothes. There's clothes out. There's dogs. There's cats. Right? Yeah, like these vague allusions. But I come away from this first part being a little confused, not really understanding where we are, where Teal is, what's going on. We've come up with this problem a few times where Teal's just in a place, and that's okay, right? That like just Teal existing in a place is good for readers' imaginations. They inevitably come up with their own narratives, right? Like I can scream at them until they're blue in the face, but I'm never going to force an individual to imagine a scene the way I've conceived it. That's just never going to happen. And it shouldn't happen either, right? That's kind of the appeal of writing, is that every reader can build their own imaginative picture, or however different people conjure thoughts in their heads, right? How do I know? I don't know. I don't know how people's brains work. I can barely wrap my... The expression here is ironic, but I can barely wrap my head around how my own brain works. Puzzle that one out. I can't. Anyways, so we're lacking some foundation, right? I don't hate what's going on here. I don't hate the world building. I don't hate what Teal's doing per se, but we need some guidance. I think we're going for like a European vibe here. Like we're going for an old city, right? There's a big wall around this city. There's a big outdoor market. We're definitely going for European fantasy vibes. And if that's the case, then all right, where are those European fantasy vibes? Let's bring them up. Let's show Teal interacting with them, maybe, or even just, if not interacting, then witnessing. We need to build this richness into the world, right? Like, sure, there's soil here, but it lacks nutrients. And Teal's really just kind of bumbling around and going like, oh, here are things. She weighs the city against her. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of things. Pardon me. What I'm just trying to get at is like Teal, there needs to be some vignettes here, some little aspects of life. Especially, right, we come back to this idea that this world doesn't really feel lived in. There's people here, and we talk to some of them, but the ones that we don't get to interact with through Teal's point of view, we're just kind of left to assume that they might be around, that they could be existing. Why not populate this world, right? People are here. They're supposed to be here, even in the alleyways, right, where Teal is sort of escaping society. There would still be society. There's still people here. There's still people here living their lives, and that's important for trying to push this idea that, yeah, okay, Teal's in the back alleys, and there's like kind of there's people living here. There's a city going on here. This isn't just ghost town, Hollywood back alleyways where nothing happens, and it's only a place for the heroes to get from point A to point B, right? It's alleyways only exist so that car chases can have funny spots for the protagonist's vehicle to pull into, right? While the bad guys blast on off into the other direction, right? No, there's stuff going on in alleyways. Alleyways are there for a reason, either because they're like shipping lanes or because it's just the space between old buildings. There might just be common areas here that people are just hanging out in. Neighbors would be yapping to each other from open windows. It could be anything, right? But we need to incorporate that here so that it A, makes the city feel more alive, which is important, and B, it builds this next scene, right? It builds not only this scene, but the entirety of this chapter. Well, chapter's not a good, because we're on chapter 11. What's a good word? The entirety of this section? I guess section? I can't use part because I've already, this book's dissected into parts too. So let's just go with sections, right? The section where Teal is in the alleyways. It's going to help prop that up. It's like, oh yeah, this is a believable space. Which we can also do. We can't help build the city, but we can help build Teal as a more believable individual by once again, like we've been talking about, her memory is just way too concrete. What she's thinking about here is just too clear. It's just too exact, and she's still really not in a state where things would be so glued together carefully. Her memory's not fusing back to what it was. She's still coming to terms with her amnesia. So this whole bit here with her like remembering maybe a hometown, maybe like a home neighborhood, it's just a little too clear. I don't think it's bad that she's going through this city and having thoughts like that. That's only natural for one with amnesia to think, okay, where did I come from? What was it like where I lived? Instead, she should be having these notions, these little sparks that, hey, I remember this, or like, hey, this is different from what I kind of remember. Wait, like, am I wrong? Is this wrong? Is either wrong? What is wrong, really? I don't know. That's a big question, Teal. That's a big question to be asking for an amnesiac. But in doing this fragmented memory, and even just right now, like, we kind of need to keep Teal thinking here, because it services the notion that we're building alongside everything else we're building. We're also plotting out we're future prepping this idea of Elvish culture. So what Teal is thinking, based on her upbringing in Elvish culture, needs to reflect what she kind of has as this, what she would deem natural, the natural form of a city. What she expects an urban environment to look like. And we can do that by, pushing things forward here and getting things along. So in doing that, we need to offer more aspects of what would be important to Teal growing up in an Elvish city. But also balancing that with not being too clear, not being too precise, which is tricky, but just needs to be done. We can use this then as a prod, right? As something to push this notion that Teal's bias, her natural proclivity to things is this kind of lavish experience. Teal isn't thinking like, okay, where are the Elvish restaurants? Where are the Elvish parlors? Where are the Elvish brothels, right? Where's the red light district? Her notion of a city is like, oh, where are the gardens, right? Where's the palace? Where are the courtyards? Where's the school, right? Where's the academy? Where are the various ministries? And in doing so, right, this is just a tie-in. This builds Teal as a character who is someone who is maybe not from a society, or not from a part of a society that is I don't want to say seedy. We're not in the seedy part of a city here. We're just in the back alleys. But still, Teal isn't used to this. Teal isn't used to like closed space. She's not used to a dimly lit environment. She's not used to there just being no greenery. And we can suggest that. We can suggest that by saying, okay, here's what she thinks. Here's what she assumes. Here's what she's reflecting on her observations here. But yeah, so Teal is here. She's walking through the city. She has these thoughts. She's thinking like, oh, this city's kind of weird. Why is it weird? Am I the weirdo? Like, is my amnesia just making me think I'm used to something differently? And she takes a bit of a break here. She takes a small pause, and she says, okay, well, I'm just gonna dwell on this for a little bit, as one does, right? When a thought is really bothering you, you just gotta take a time out. That's totally normal behavior. That's definitely not the sign of somebody who just can't compartmentalize because they're a silly little amnesiac. But she takes a break here, and she starts actively trying to recollect her past, which we really haven't had her do before. And like, honestly, this is a good beat for her to just stop and be like, okay, well, wait a minute. What is home to me, right? And she does this, and it's, I appreciate it. I'm glad this beat is here. It should remain here, I think, going forward. Obviously, we have some aspects about it that need adjusting, but we can take this and work with it a bit better. She needs to have this beat here. She doesn't need to, right? There are different ways I could write this, but I like that this beat is here because going forward, it sets up the latter half of this chapter well. Teal's deep in thought, and then later on, she kind of has her bubble burst. So, having her have this moment sets up character building really well. She has this moment of introspection, and then it also feeds into the next part of the narrative. So definitely the idea of it needs to be kept. This is just something like, character building again. This is just something Teal would do. Teal would kind of take an aside and really mull things over if it was bothering her this much. She has this memory regarding like her dwellings, about her family life, very vaguely. All of this is just a little too solid, like we mentioned. It needs to be less tangible. Her thoughts need to be kept fragmented. She has this nostalgia, which is okay, and in fact, that's a good, subtle motivator for her to be having here. But what she's recalling here really needs to be reworked. We got to take what she's thinking about here and just smash it a little bit, which is unfortunate and a little cruel, but it becomes more believable, right? We're trying to make this more believable amnesia that Teal really can't recollect everything. And even now, we've got these pieces of Teal that eventually come together, but they're just too chunky. They're just too big. They're too identifiable. Teal's in a real state, right? Just got off a boat, just wandering around, doesn't really know what she's doing. We gotta exemplify that, and we got to, unfortunately, the way we exemplify it is by breaking up her memories. So we got to take all this, really just crack it into smaller pieces. I thought a good way of doing this would be to have her go back, to have her think, okay, well, where can I remember from? Oh yeah, that nectarine memory. That was pretty solid. That was like weirdly tangible in my mind. Like I can grab onto that. And from there, right, she kind of goes back to that and she thinks, okay, well, if I'm gonna take an active crack at remembering, then it ought to be from something I can jump from, right? I need a jumping off place. And then from there, I think a good way to do it is to develop snapshots, these framed images that she can remember. So not necessarily she's thinking like, okay, Uh, what do I like? I remember hope. I remember doing this or doing that. I remember the garden outside the window or what have you. Um, these are all like good snapshots to take, but they're just like too holistic. They're too pieced together. Um, she needs to have like very weirdly lucid, maybe not lucid, but these photos of spots, of places, of not even things that happened, but just like, oh yeah, these people were there. Oh, I remember there was a table in this room and a window behind it, stuff like that, as if she's remembering herself standing in a certain spot and looking, right? Just like one frame of her life comes to her in a flash, and she's like, okay, I don't remember what that room is or where the window goes or what even was out the window, but hey, I remember there was a building and you could stand here and look there, and there was a table in between me and the window, which is great. That's super relevant information, which is kind of what we're going for, just like useless tidbits of information for Teal to remember. But we also need to do this in a way that, once again, paints Elvish culture, paints Teal's past, and highlights the fact that, yeah, she's probably a silly little rich kid. And she can't really remember much because she's silly. I wrote down some examples here just of stuff just for me in the future. You can take a look at it in the VOD if you want, or you can just quickly read it now before it goes off screen. This does kind of suck in a way because we have to do away with this really cute memory of Teal's home life. But it just has to be done, right? Her inability to recall those she lived with is what like inevitably yanks her away from her daydream. That sort of that pit in the stomach kind of feeling of, oh wait, like I can't remember my family. That's maybe not so good, because we need something to pull Teal out of this memory, right? We'll get to that in a bit, but we need something to draw her in, right? She's feeling nostalgic. She's dwelling on her memory. She has these snapshots, and it kind of dawns on her, oh, wait a minute. There should be people in my life, shouldn't there? If not, should I not be remembering an orphanage? Like, I definitely have memory. Like, I remember other people in my life. Why can't I recall who they are? Why can't I remember the number or like where they are or what they even looked like? So Teal's got a lot to do here. She's got to go like broad into sinking on this notion of thinking about her family, and that's what pulls her out of her memories. So we can keep this idea of like family being mentioned here, but unfortunately we just got to throw out her cute little family memory here, which is sad. But oh well, that's a draft one problem. Sorry, honey, gotta get rid of that memory. Let's see here. Teal has her little memory. She has her. I won't say it's sad. She's not really sad. Maybe it's a little poignant. Maybe it's a little melancholic. But she has her time. And then her ruminations are rudely interrupted by an individual who's basically just gawking at her. We come to know them as the dandy. I don't hate the fact that the dandy just shows up and is ogling her and is being basically a creep, but there's no way in any scenario that somebody's just going to, like, I don't care how deep in thought you are, nobody's just going to walk up in front of you and lean against the same wall you are and stare at you without you noticing, right? There's no way that slips by. There's no way Teal is just so clouded over and taken back by her thoughts that she's not going to notice a dude walk up to her, stand in front of her, and then kind of like, make kissy eyes at her. That's weird. Teal's pretty dumb, but she's not She's not that dumb, right? She's not blind. And I don't mean to associate the two, and I'm not at all, but she can see. This is what I'm trying to say. Her vision works. She understands that like a person is in front of her. I don't even, like, how hard would you have to be thinking about something? Like, you just have to be completely ignorant. Absolutely. But she isn't, right? She isn't doing that. She's not being ignorant. She's just daydreaming. So the dandy can go maybe stand somewhere else. Like, they can be close by, they can be orbiting, but they're not going to be right in front of Teal. That's just silly. Her reaction can remain the same. She can, like, she has this deferral where she apologizes for not noticing them. Like, I don't know, maybe they approach her amid her, like, consternation. Maybe she looks worried. Maybe she kind of, like, snaps out of it and is like, uh-oh, what about my family? And then the dandy shows up, like, she spies somebody approaching her. And maybe they have, like, a small interaction, and then Teal apologizes. I don't know, but we got to do away with this, right? The guy is not just going to be posing in front of her. That's weird. We get to introduce the dandy, though. The dandy, they introduce themselves. They make a very formal entrance by forcing themselves onto Teal, for lack of a better term. I think they should be more French. I think the dandy needs to be a little more French. I think I withheld their Frenchness owing to a desire to maintain readability here. And they're a little French, right? They've got some French phrases. They've got little French pauses and interjections. But I think we just gotta lean into it. I want them to have this air of, like, a young noble from the 1800s. So somebody who's definitely educated in English, but, still has their nose up at it. Like, I don't actually want to speak English. It's kind of a, it's the commoner's language. It belongs to those dogs across the sea. But, for diplomacy's sake, I must learn that wretched language of those brutish island Germans. But we can really lean into the French. We can throw an accent on the dandy. And this is largely weighed by the knight later on. The knight has this incredibly thick German accent. I think it's thick anyways. That's what I was kind of going for. But they've definitely got an accent, right? And if that's the case, if I have a character later on in the book who speaks whole sentences in their native language, who, when they're not speaking their native language, is, riddled with a very heavy accent, then the dandy can be more French, right? The dandy can speak with a bit of a, how you say, I got no French. I got no French in my mind right now. I barely have English in my mind. How you say a je ne sais quoi. I think that'll do. That'll have to do for now. But yeah, if the knight can do it, then the dandy can be more French. We can just have fun with it, right? I kind of describe them a little bit. I get talking about their outfit, which is pretty important. Their accoutrements, their habiliments, because they're a very decadent being. They're meant to be very, like I said, they're a noble, right? They're very well dressed. They're wearing silk. And it's fine. I like the outfit. There's something lacking from it. Just mostly the description. Like, I don't, like, obviously I didn't, I forgot his hat. Oh, silly me. I forgot to give him a hat, right? Not like that, but just something in the description of it is warm. It doesn't spark anything. I don't, my eyes don't light up when I'm reading about the dandy. I don't think, oh, wow, like, damn, he got the drip. Where'd you find those, son? Shit. But Oh, we gotta fix that, right? I think that's basically just an issue of draft one. That's a draft one problem. It's just like my writing wasn't very good. I think in the second draft that I'll just write it better, right? This we sometimes we just find problems that's just, hey, me, could you write this better, please? Thanks. Thank you. But there's nothing I can't really put something in my notes that's going to be helpful with this. I think it's just, I got to write it better. But aside from that, the rest is fine. Like, got to be more French. And fix their outfit. Easy peasy. Honestly, they have a conversation. The dandy sort of comes on to Teal a little bit. They're trying to kind of like trick her. They're twisting her words into her, like trying to get her to basically say like, oh, I'm in love with you, even though we just met. Like, we must be star-crossed lovers. Basically because he was walking around and found a girl in an alleyway and made wolf noises at her while she wasn't listening. But yeah, their conversation's fine. They both have this very refined manner of speaking. I kind of like that Teal is really in it with this mindset of like, oh, this is how people should speak. Whereas the dandy comes off, and this is something I kind of want to push a little more, that's why it's here. The dandy comes off as somebody who's trying to speak well, but just doesn't really have the vocabulary. Like, they speak well. They're doing a good job, but when reflected against Teal here, Teal, who's just not like, this is just how she talks. We know this is just how she talks. Teal comes into this conversation. It's just like, oh, okay, yes, we're talking. This will be these words will be the base of my vocabulary, so that as we individuals engaged in this colloquy advance, we might clearly express our unique concepts, right? That was difficult. I had to think real hard while I talked about that. While I use those words, I prefer single syllable words, like snacks and tea. Snacks and tea. I digress. I want to push this air that like Teal is just kind of like, whatever, this is how she talks. The dandy's trying, and then as the conversation goes along, we get this notion that Teal starts to ramp up her snootiness. She ramps up her highbrow word usage so that the dandy ends up like just kind of coming across as dumb and a tryhard, where Teal's like, oh no, I have mastered language. Like, honey, I was forced to talk like a pompous idiot my whole life. You just adopted the hoity-toityness. I was born into it, honey. So I think we should amplify that. I think that should be something going forward, that Teal starts off on even footing, and then she gradually is like, no, I kind of hate this guy. I'm gonna try to dunk on him. Because that becomes a running theme. We get to that in a couple chapters. We had fun talking about that on Saturday, in our Saturday stream. So they start talking. Teal's getting a little annoyed. She has this weird moment where she thinks like, I can't just leave. I know how this encounter's gonna go. I gotta do something to get this guy to leave. And like, girl, what? You have amnesia. You're pretty clueless. I don't think the idea that her having this natural dislike of the dandy is wrong, right? Especially like her like Teal as a female alone in an alleyway. And some dude walks up to her like, yeah, she's gonna have the heebie-jeebies. That checks out. But her being like, oh, I've experienced this before, I know how this plays out, that doesn't jive with her mentality. That doesn't jive with her current state. So we got to fix that. honestly, we can just do what she's thinking. We can just have her do this. Like, she tries to leave and the dandy just keeps pursuing her. And only after this does she, you know, she develops this idea, but she can also have this notion of like, oh yeah, wait a minute, I should have known. That doesn't work. That's not how this kind of person, this like, you know, a tail chaser, that's not how they play this game. So we can just add that in. It doesn't make sense for Teal to just know. She can go through it, right? She can go through these steps and remember it, but it's just silly. Yeah, she can't just know. She's got amnesia. She's not just gonna know how the world works. Her idea, right? Her plan at the end here is fine for her to just essentially turn off the dandy, to just play into his pride and like poke his buttons until he pisses off. Whatever, that's fine. That's like a fun idea. That's very Teal, to just be annoying. Like if she wants somebody to leave her alone, yeah, Teal would just be annoying. Teal would just kind of be a jerk. Like she wouldn't directly ever say it, but she would just be like, yeah, okay, I just got to figure out what bothers you and then keep doing that until you leave me alone, because I don't want to talk to you, because I'm way too refined to just tell you to get lost. I'm above that. I have to get you to tell me to get lost, and then I go, oh, okay, haha, bye. Oh no, you're leaving. Oh no, please come back. Don't ever come back. So she can have this concept. She can have that plan. That's cool. I think they should have a bit more of like a back and forth. As it stands right now, they don't really like converse. It's mostly just they have a bit of a oh, it's you. Yes, it's me. I love you. I think you're the best. You should marry me and run away with me. And Teal just goes, that's kind of weird, actually. And then the dandy just like wooing Teal, trying to woo Teal, and Teal kind of just goes like, no, actually, I think you're kind of pompous, but I'm better than you. So, you know, even if we were a thing, it wouldn't work out because I'm just the greatest. And then she hits on, like, she touches a nerve, and the dandy's like, whoa, hold on a minute. That's not how this works. I'm the best. You're not the best. Good day, madam. Right? And I think they should, like, have a bit more of a conversation. They should have kind of a back and forth, this repartee, where Teal's essentially, like, goading the dandy, and stepping up her game as she does. She should have this air of like, oh, she's just toying with him. Like, this guy's just a moron, just chasing literal skirt. And Teal's kind of figured out the game. Teal's like, oh, I know. I remember. I hate you. Like, icky man. Gross. I don't want this. How do I get out of this situation, right? And she should have a bit more kind of like manipulating the situation. Because as it stands right now, she ends up at the crux of her plan too quickly, and it feels like she just ends up insulting him, which is fine. That's ultimately where it goes. She really does, and I think should come to this idea that like, oh yeah, no, this guy's just arrogant and super into himself, like incredibly vain. Why don't we, like, there it is, ding ding, I found it. I found the red light. I found the target. Let's aim at that, right? But she gets to that too quickly. She ends up kind of just coming off as a little rude. Not that, like, in another scenario she doesn't come off as rude, but if they have a back and forth, I think it's better justified. And she, like, as it stands right now, she doesn't really, like, find a good way. She just sort of stumbles into it. And I think if they have a bit more of a discussion, a bit more of a back and forth, then Teal can come upon this notion of like, oh, you're super into your clothes, you're super into your appearance, you're very proud, you're pretty arrogant. Like, yeah, okay, found it. Like, I found all the clues. I know where to take this conversation in order to get this guy to leave me alone. There's a bit here, right? Teal does hit upon the notion. They basically say, like, yeah, I guess you're all right, but compared to me, you're not really that. You're not hot shit. And the dandy's like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. You're a lady. They don't say this. They don't play the sexist card, but it's like, it's vaguely alluded to. You're a lady. You're meant to swoon over me because I'm hot. And Teal's not about that life. Teal ain't about that. And then they leave, right? There's definitely some things we need to fix here before they depart. It's a short chapter. It's only 4 or so pages. And yet we need to fix so much crap. Funny how that happened. I'm getting off track here. They have their little back and forth. Teal insults them. The dandy wants to leave. But before they leave, they kind of cuss Teal out a little bit. And they low-key call Teal a lesbian. Very, very low-key, right? And honestly, you have to read into it a little bit in order to get it. I mostly set it up to be a rhyme, like a funny rhyme, but if you look into it, I don't know, personally, I think that's kind of what they're going for. We could lean into that a little bit. We could lean into the fact that, yeah, maybe the dandy is just kind of homophobic. Maybe that's maybe this is another character we just make like a little awful, and maybe they're a little homophobic. Or maybe that's like the crutch they use. They're like, oh, that's why she's not into me. She only likes women. Teal only likes ladies. Well, honey, I guess that makes us rivals, doesn't it? Right? Maybe that's something the dandy could say. Maybe instead of like, I'm wooing you, it's like, no, I'm against you now. How dare you? Those are my women. Which I like, that's honestly how it goes in real life, I'm pretty sure. Hate that. Not a fan. Not a fan of hate crimes. But I digress. We don't really... They kind of flare up a bit, right? The dandy gets a little upset here. And Teal has this moment of like, eep. Maybe I'll get my dagger. Like, this guy looks like he might do something crazy with that walking stick. Maybe I better be ready. And we can ham up a little bit how they get wound up here, how they start to rant and curse and cuss and carry on because of, like, Teal insulting them. Like, right, this very, like, petty remark that, hey, man, maybe you're not the hottest shit. It, like, works them into such a state that that they're willing to just storm off, right? We can ham that up a bit. I don't think we should ever insinuate that they would become violent. I think that should be an aspect of like Teal being a little defensive and a little suspicious. But they don't really get much time here to be upset. They really just are like, how dare you say that? You're awful. I'm leaving. The pacing's off, right? Let's give them a moment here to be like, just to have a little rant. Maybe they talk about how freaking awesome their suit is, right? Compared to Teal's or whatever. That's honestly all it would take. Just like another paragraph where they're ranting about the clothes. Cool. Great. Suddenly the dandy is a deeper individual. That's awesome. That's all it took. The ending bit is ultimately fine though. It needs some tweaking. I like that Teal calming down after she's worrying. Like those are key things that need to stay. But like it once again, like a lot of the endings for most of the chapters, it feels really hurried. It feels flat. Her explanation for what she's doing doesn't really exist. She's just like, oh well, the dandy should know. Like, If this dude was walking through the alley, then they should know a way out, and she just like decides to follow them. And that's weird. Like, right? That's kind of weird. Don't you like you're saying you want to follow the guy who you were just afraid might hit you, who's just hitting on you and might actually hit you? Like, I don't know. That's a weird train of thought. I don't know if she would do that. That like needs adjusting. We need to expand upon her ideas, her like what's going on in her mind, right? I keep clicking things and ruining my text document. Oops. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, these last few paragraphs where she comes to this notion that she should be pressing on. I don't even think she really needs to follow the dandy. She can just go her own way and end up upon where she is in chapter 12 by happenstance, right? She can just go about her business and, hey, here I am. I'm at the next thing. I just wandered into it. I've been wandering into everything else. Why can't she wander into another thing? She's pretty good at it. She's pretty good at just ending up in situations, as we all are, because that's just all life is, isn't it? But I digress. This last part needs some expansion. It needs some polish. It's just too skimpy. There's not a lot going on here. Teal needs a moment to like reflect, to calm down, and then she can just go about her business. And honestly, that's it. That's all we need. We just need to fix this ending, add a little to it, resculpt it, and the ending's fine. A lot of the chapter is just like, it's fine, but it needs some work. Right? Like I said, it's 4 pages. And hey, hi. We're done. That's it. We're done. We did it. Thanks everyone. Thanks for coming out. It's been a great stream. It's been a great Tuesday. For real though. That's chapter 11. Next week we're going to take a crack at chapter 12. I'd say we would do it right now, but chapter 12 is a little longer. It needs some reworking. There's a lot of weird things that happen in chapter 12. So it definitely needs an episode all its own. But hey, in the here and now, that's chapter 11. There it is. Done and dusted. So yeah, thanks for coming for that portion, everyone. That's great. We're a little ahead of schedule. That only took about 50 minutes, which is fine. Like I said, short chapter, can only talk about it so much. I can just sit here and flap my gums for 10 minutes. I don't think that's wise, but I could do it. Don't tempt me. I could do it. I will do it if you let me. But I better not. I won't let me. Not right now, anyways. But yeah, we'll call it there. That's the stream. That's the talky part of it. We'll just hang out. We'll do some hanging out. We'll do some drawing. I'll answer questions if anyone has them. And yeah, let's shift gears here. We'll try the Q&A feature. I will try to keep better tabs on it now that I know how it works. I'll at least, I don't know if I'll keep it open or if I'll come back to it. But yeah, we'll shift gears here. We'll do some drawing. And we will have some fun. We'll probably go until 5 or until things get boring. Which could be very soon, because I'm not very exciting. If you can't see how few views I get, then you know, or you don't know, how boring I am. I'm very boring. Hi, it's me. I'm boring. In the paper, in the cardboard. I don't have flesh. Isn't that weird? I don't have flesh. I mean, personally, I think flesh is a little weirder. Like what? That stuff's made of water? Ew. Gross. Yuck. Water. Icky. Yeah, let me open Psy. I'm just goofing off now. Let me open Psy. And we will shift gears. Ka-chunk. Ka-dunk. I don't drive. I don't know what cars sound like. Ba-da. Oh, and ba-ba. Nailed it. I'm so good at this. Let me close this. Close all windows on display. Yes, I know. Don't save. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, yeah, here we are. We're in Psy. Does everyone remember Psy? Our erstwhile romantic drawing application. I gotta unplug something. And I gotta plug something else in. Ooh, if I can reach it. I reached it. And yeah, let's see. The drivers ought to work. Oh, yeah, there they go. Yeah, let me pull up a new canvas. Let me zoom in. Let me get a teal appropriate color. Yeah, we're gonna. Oh, there we go. I got it. We're gonna do our Q&A. I'll fix that up in a sec. I'm gonna do the usual, and I'm gonna stand up and do a stretch and put on some music. I don't know. The music's debatable. I like the music on Saturday when we're just vibing, but it really is a pain in the butt when YouTube yells at me because I have music on, which sucks. I like music. I like it a lot. It keeps my brain on. Hey, that reminds me, I haven't yawned. Ha! I haven't yawned on stream. That's because I'm a big weenie. But what was I saying? Music, right? I don't want to put music on because YouTube sucks. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna get up and stretch anyways. Oh yeah, my mouse isn't on. Hold on. I gotta use the trackpad. There we go. Ba ba ba. Ba ba ba. I put some music on. It's very quiet. Hopefully I can just talk over it and then delete the parts that YouTube doesn't like. Haha. Take that, copyrights. Okay, let's see here. I'm just gonna get restructured here, resettled, and we're gonna get going here. We're gonna get. Oh, I don't have the marker tool. We're gonna get going. A little determined eyebrows. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna get going. Let's see here. If I go here, if I go here, and I Where is it? It's at the bottom. And I go, hey, start a Q&A. Sure, that's like a question. I'm just gonna put it out there as like a general. Hey, any questions? Haha. Hee hee. And then we'll hang out. Yeah, it shows up there. Shows up at the top of the feed. And then yeah, I think you can like click on that and you can do things like, hey, I'm gonna be a question person. And then hopefully I remember to check the questions tab at least a couple times. If I don't, please yell at me, because I'm dumb. I'm a dummy. But that aside, there it was. There was the first yawn. I subdued it, but it was there. Almost right on time. Almost exactly at 4 p.m. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't really drawn anything today. Oops. So let's do some warm-ups together. Just some circles. Just some circles and some ovals and some ellipticals too. I guess they're pretty much all ellipticals. I don't think any of them are circles or ovals. Ovals. Definitely not any Orvilles here. No Orville Wright. No Orville Redenbacher. I don't know any other Orvilles. I feel like I ought to know another Orville at least. Yeah, nothing's coming to me. I feel like there's an Orville from like a Disney show or something. Wasn't there a character from Gravity Falls named Orville? I don't remember. Anyway, that'll do. I'm gonna take a sippy. Orville Animal Crossing. Yeah, that's basically just Orville Wright. That's basically just Orville Wright because he's a bird. That's the one with the shades, right? I don't remember. Oh man, the yawns are coming on strong. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it, everyone. I got sleepy disease. I got real EP disorder. It's terminal. I'm just gonna. Oh wait, I guess my head isn't a circle, is it? There. I'm just gonna drift off to sleep. Honk shoe, me, etc. There, that's me. That's me right now. I wish it was me. Well, maybe not. That face is. Oh man, that's what I get. That's what I get for saying I haven't yawned. That's like 5 yawns in 4 minutes. I'm doomed. If this keeps up, that's more than a yawn a minute. I'll never get anything done. I could probably turn like a light on. That might help. It's getting darker earlier in the northern hemisphere as it does. Good old NH, northern hemisphere. Yeah, I don't really have too much of a plan today. I'll probably just draw a teal and call it a day. Oops. I did go and find some reference. Let me give me a minute here. Let me go plundering my reference folder for poses. I just grabbed something quick off of like R Sketch Daily or whatever it is. The thing I hate about pose websites is that a lot of the time the poses are just real sexy or like way too over the top. I think we talked about this on Saturday. I am not big on really over the top poses. That or it's like, I don't know, they're meant to be for life drawing classes, right? And when you're in life drawing classes, you kind of want those more robust poses because they generate better lines of action, they're more commanding, they generally have a better silhouette. You know, whatever, that's good and fine, but damn, that's like, what? I don't want to just hang out and draw a person doing like a drop kick off a building into a dragon or something, you know? I got things to do. It's stuff to do, you know? What the hey? What the ding dang hey? I don't know what that means. Anyways, there's one. There's one I found. Let me see if I can get another. I feel like I had another good pose lined up. Right, we used that one on Saturday. I got this one. It's kind of fun. Definitely more action oriented. But this is what I mean, right? This is kind of still in the realm of candid, right? This isn't a staged photo. The silhouette of it is complex and like kind of muddled. Right, if this were like a staged photo, this person would have like their leg up here and they'd make sure their foot isn't obscuring the other leg. Like the arms are really well defined, but then they've got like this lumpy backpack. Anyways, I don't know. I just, something about staged photos really, it just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like good source material. And very often it's like a lady in a sexy pose or something, right? Just like it's provocative. The idea of, you know, forcing women into weird gender-defined roles in photography for references, strange. Doing it for either gender is strange, right? Like, why do dudes always have to be in these heroic poses? Why do ladies always have to be dolled up and ready for pin-up formation at a moment's notice? It's just woke things, you know. When the woke gets you, when you turn your brain on, I hate that. I hate when the liberals turn your brain on. I've still got some expression sheets to work through. Can't be bothered. Can't he be bothered? Yeah, let's nab these two. Come on, Sai. There you go. Let's thank you. Let's nab the. Thank you, Sai. Thank you. Please paste it on this layer, Sai. We'll get it. We'll get it one of these days. Sai, please. Sai, thank you. Thank you, Sai. Thank you. Everyone, give it up for Sai 2. Give it up for Sai 2, everyone. Sai 2. It's really good. It's really good, and it knows what layers are. Thank you. Thank you, Sai number 2. You know how layers work. Like, okay. Let's talk about this. Let's, for real for a minute. I'm putting the pen down. Hold on. For real for a minute. Let's talk about this. You're telling me your base function to the command Control V is to make a new canvas? A brand new canvas? And to post the image I just copied in that new canvas. Do you not think that maybe the reason I'm on this canvas here and I want a thing pasted on this canvas here, do you not think the reason I hit Control V is because I want it here? Sai, I'm talking to you. Is that not what you think? My Sai doesn't do that. Yeah, well, your Sai is a piece of poop. Your Sai is a doo-doo head. Your Sai is a big stinky butt. So take that, you chump. I will apologize to you. I'm not going to apologize to Sai. My comments about Sai still stand. This picture is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. But that's okay, we'll just zoom out. This individual is not very teal-shaped, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. That's the fun thing about using reference, is you kind of just got to figure it out, right? They're kind of slouching a little bit. They're just hanging out on this wall. I feel like even their shoulders are maybe pulled back a little bit. Yeah, they're not exactly over their hips. Their shoulders are kind of like over here. And their head's kind of weird, so I'm just gonna... Teal's looking wistfully off to the side. And this is just a first pass, so it can be kind of grody. It can be kind of a bad drawing. It's fine. We're just this is technically live drawing, right? So it can be... I like how I just used that as shorthand for it can be garbage. It can be bad. It's fine. Life drawing? Whatever. It can be bad. I mean, that said, I'll use anything to defend my garbage art. My gross, bad drawings. Do 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 do. So I guess technically their foot's on the ground. Kind of awkward. And then dee 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 dee. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, chat. What can I say? What more can I say about how sleepy I am? I can't say a lot, that's for dang sure. Yeah, their shoulders are super relaxed. This guy's just hanging out. Do 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 do. I might change this arm a little bit. I don't know. It seems a little boring. I might have it a little more like that, like she's kind of propping herself up or something. I don't know. Remember, kids, flip your canvas. Flip your canvas so that you know just how bad your drawing is. It's not going to get good unless you see how bad it is. It's not going to get good to begin with if you're me, but hey, at least I'm doing the right thing, right? At least I'm doing the correct thing. Or at least so I was taught. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. That was me checking the Q&A chat. Haha, I've done it. Now you can't say I didn't do it, because I did it. Because I'm really good at checking things. Check this, I'll check that. This right here? Oh, oh yeah. Done. You want me to check under the bed for monsters? I got you covered. You want me to emigrate to Central Europe? I got you covered. I know where to go. Trust me. Yeah, you want me to pay out an amount of capital? Where do I sign? I know what to do. You know what I'm talking about. If you're an American, one might say, I could say, oh, you need somebody to pay after a meal? Well, you know where to pass that thing. But in the rest of the world where we use our words properly, the thing you get at the end of a meal is called the bill. It's called the bill because it's the money that you owe. And it goes to it goes to William, the owner. It goes to William. That's why it's called a bill, because it goes to the owner, William. I had to think real hard about where the name Bill comes from. I was real dead set on Robert, but that's not how that name works. That's not where that name comes from. Anyways, let's get back to work. Let's focus. Let's lock in, chat. Let's get down to business and defeat the Huns. Do 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 do. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? See, the funny thing about that line, that's where that joke ends. That joke derails immediately, right? I don't need to explain that factoid, right? Like, you've all seen Mulan and you understand the not so subtle nuances of the critique, right? The feminist critique of Mulan, right? Right? Everyone, right? By everyone, I mean the one person here. It would be nice if this guy had like less of a baggy shirt on. I guess I can kind of see it. I thought this bag over here was like a rumple. But I can pretty clearly see that, yeah, their back kind of just does fold into their midsection here. It's you! Surprise! Sweet! It's you! You did it! You were the one person here. Wow. Something about this head ain't right. Something about this head ain't right. That girl ain't right. Altogether though, honestly, this pose isn't looking too shabby. Like for once it's not too shabby. Sorry, I just caught myself like that. You ever just catch yourself talking and you're like, wow, that was really annoying. That was me. That was me right now. That was I mean, that's how I usually am, but I digress. Oh man. And now I gotta think about like, oh, what do we do on Saturday? What do we do on Saturday, everyone? You're telling me I have to look after you on Saturday now too? God. Good Lord. Lord Thunder and Jesus. Do 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 do. Oh, whoops. I've been on layer 1. Let me adjust that. Right. Oh. That'll do. Do 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 do. Merengue. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Oh, that's why I keep humming. The music stopped. Allow me to flip the record. We're listening to Sticks. I don't know what the album is, but it sticks. Sticks and stones, as they say, sticks and stones. Sounds like kind of hard rock-ish. Maybe not hard rock. Definitely, I think just honestly, just rock. It's just rockin'. Oh, wow. Man, I hate yawning. You know, it's probably, when I think about it, which it doesn't happen very often, but when I think about it, it's probably because of my allergies. It's probably a reaction to my allergies. Typically, I take an allergy pill on Tuesdays so that I'm not sneezing. But I don't think it's a side effect. I don't think drowsiness is, but I think how do I want to say this? Like into it, right? So I've probably like 6 hours into the allergy pill, and they're good for like 12. They're good for like a 12-hour period. So I think at like the halfway point, that's when the body starts kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, allergies are here again, and the allergy buff is wearing off. Oh, time to just crash. Time to just shut this thing down. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Sorry. Just being silly. That's fine. We're gonna take another pass at this, but I want to try the other one out. I want to try this other pose out. Not that I think it will go any better, but sometimes you just vibe with certain things better. Sometimes you're just feeling it. You know, you feel it. You feel the cosmos. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Why is Teal leaping from a thing? Dunno. Gonna find out that together. Maybe she's racing for like the last croquette. Or yeah, she's got like a chomping down. Stole the last loaf. Just making her daring getaway. So these arms, yeah, this is going to be tricky. Not just because they're really foreshortened, but because there's so much cloth on this guy's upper torso. Right, so we know the shoulder's there. Might even be like there-ish. Yeah, actually, now that I look at it, their hand is basically right above their head. Do 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 tweet do tweet do tweet tweet do. I think the worst part about this live humming is it's never in sync with what's playing. So it's just, hey, I'm gonna hum because I feel like I gotta fill the void. The void being the quiet existing between me and chat. Boop 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 boop. Hmm. 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 Something like that. Who knows? Who can say? I feel even their legs could be spread out a little further. This could open up a bit. I don't hate the shape of the back here. That could like lift though, push a little more. Gotta leap over that fence. Gotta leap over that fence. GLOF. When the fence is in the way, when the fence is in your way, clap your hands. I don't have a clap. Sorry, not sorry. That was supposed to be implemented in my core files, but The designer never got that far. Oops. Oops, oops. Let's see here. What time is it? It's 4:30. It's 4:30. There's no questions yet. So I might call it early today. If there's not going to be any questions, I might do another pass here, try to get us to like 4:45, maybe like 4:50, just so we've done an hour. But yeah, if we're just hanging out, if we're just chilling, and there's not really much going on, I got things to do. It's hard to believe. I got things to do, and the less bandwidth I waste, the better. But that said, let's doodle a little bit. Let's just doodle some teals. Mostly because, I mean, like, I don't think either of these are bad, but, you know, ADD. I need instant gratification, or I'm not content. I'm just not content. Let's just teal some big ol' eyes. Big old bug eyes. What's she looking at? Me. Looking like some degenerate from Invader Zim or something. Hey. Well, that brings up an interesting point. If there is ever a question that anyone has, that's what the comments are for. That's what the comment section's there for. And if you got a question and you type it up and you leave it in the comments, odds are I'll try to answer it. I don't guarantee that I'll answer it, but I'll definitely read it. There's no way I'm not going to read it. I might not answer it if it's real weird. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. But, you know, I make an attempt to engage if the attempt to engage is personable. I gotta stop drawing the head before I draw the expression. That's the tricky thing. How am I supposed to know where the expression's going to take me? You know? How do I know? So, okay. Apparently I want a real squinty teal. A real pesh teal. Oh yeah, hold on. We gotta get these brows as close as possible. Oh yeah. She's not like, this isn't, oh yeah. Do I give her little semicircle eyes? I kind of just like how thin they are. I don't think I want to add too much to them. Yeah, there we go. Just like, you know, brows so tight. You crack a walnut. You crack a walnut between those things. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a sneer. Oh yeah. I think we can go sneerier. Yeah, yeah, bring it, girl. Bring your contempt. Yes, queen. Loathe. Despise. Yes, girly. Go. Get them. Bring your wrath upon the mortals, queen. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. She have a real squishy face. Like cheeks would be real bunched up. Low ears or high ears? Maybe kind of like medium ears. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. She's like so like even her body is squished up. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick." Yeah, 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 yeah. Hold on, hold on. She's got to have like her arms out. Hold on. Like wadded into little fists. Like she's so freaking ugh. It's like, oh, it's the dandy. Ugh. Ugh. I'm trying to like line them up now. I've noticed too. Sai 2 is very sensitive with my trackpad, with my touchpad. It really like Sai 1 was not great for that, but Sai 2, I don't know what it is. Just if I even graze my little touchpad at all, it just throws a little fit. Just throws a little tantrum. Do 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 do. Oh, better be careful. YouTube will get mad at me for that, won't it? God forbid women do anything. God forbid women just want to party. Yeah, she's real grumpy. She's real upset. I don't know who she's about to clobber, but she's about to clobber someone. Like, there's gonna be some serious clobbering. Like, we ain't just talking irregular, everyday clobbering. She's gonna get them. They gonna get beat. Y'all hear? I swear, if they ain't. Why'd I even buy tickets? Why'd I show up? Maybe do like a another really wide-eyed teal. Kind of like a huh? I don't know what she's doing. Being a real weirdo. That's what. Um, yep. Bug. Oh, I mean, I guess there could be a sofa in there. If it was biscotti, it would probably be more like this. Get the hell out from under there, kind of vibe. Meep, meep. Meep, meep. I'm checking the timer on OBS. I'm like 5 minutes shy of 2 hours. I mean, right, in in one hand, the longer I stream, the more views this will get. The more views it'll get, the more likely it is that somebody maybe clicks the subscribe button. Somebody maybe comes in here and is like, wow, wow, this is just the prettiest thing. This is just the prettiest thing I ever darn did see. This right here, this is as good as it gets, right? Wow. Move over, Mona Lisa. Say hello to this garbage. But personally, I have enough humility in my life to realize that that's never going to happen. Such ambitions are unrealistic. They're toxic. They're poopy. They're bad. They're stinky. I'll do one more teal. What's a funny teal? Maybe let's do like what was teal? Teal was facing left. We'll do a teal to the right. Oh God, one day I'll remember that I don't have the marker tool on, and I don't just start drawing the selection box. Yeah, she'll be like. No, that's a little too like, Close. Not what I want, though. Maybe more... That's a bit better. Well, no, I see the glaring issue that her neck isn't long enough, so that won't do. Come on, there you go. It's gotta be at least like that long, right? when your intelligence is low and the DM forces you to think. Call that a crit fail in my books. Haha. Am I right? Am I right, fellow gamers? Am I correct in my assumption? Fellow gamers? Yeah, that'll do. That's another teal. And with that, that's 2 hours, baby. My social obligation is fulfilled. My work obligation is fulfilled. The contract is successful? What do you call a contract that's been, like, completed? Completed? That doesn't feel right. Like, it's not null, it's not void. It's just the contract happened. Well, anyways. Fulfilled? You fulfill a contract? I guess in the sense of, like, taking it. In that sense, of contract sounds more like a bounty. This was more like an agreement. Like, we were two mutual parties who came to an agreement. Anyways, not important. That's going to do it for this week, folks. Thanks for coming. Hope you had not a bad time. And what else? Be here next week, next Tuesday, for another riveting, arousing, revolutionary episode of Draft Diary. We're going to talk about Chapter 12 next week. Chapter 12, Mogul. And we're going to have an okay time. Y'all can come hang out on Saturdays. Saturday morning-ish. Early Saturday afternoon, we hang out. We draw. We play game. Not really. Maybe in the future. But probably just do some work. It's like study club. We just, we hang out. We hang out on Saturdays. So you can come swing by, pick Ardo for that. Yeah, thanks for coming. Hope you have a good rest of your whatever. Hopefully the weather's nice, whatever that means. Anything else? Anything important I need to say? I don't think so. This is kind of a weird week. We really didn't talk that much. This is probably going to be a short video, but that's okay. The shorter the better, right? It's not like we all have the attention span for my hour-long videos as it is. Yeah. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you around. Bye, folks.